All right. Hey, we're live. At least I hope we're live. Anyway, welcome to the webinar slash hangout here on Google. And my name is Dave McGarry with GME, Gym Marketing Expert.com. And I am excited today that we're going to present this to you. It's on reputation. I last year authored a book on Amazon, which became a bestseller, which I'm really excited about. It's called Reputation Marketing: How to Build a 5-Star Reputation Online to Grow Your Business. And today the webinar is going to be on 12 surefire ways that you can market your online reputation to grow your gym. So without that, I'm going to go ahead and start it. I've also got Lyle over here. He is our video expert, and he's going to be on the webinar with us as well. So Lyle, if you just want to say something while I get this thing started here.
Well, I'm excited to be here because Dave is my go-to guy for reputation. If anybody has bad reviews online or they have questions about how to get better reviews and all that, then yeah, you're presenting the wrong one. Then he's the guy I go to because, I mean, I know about reputation in general, but he knows a whole lot more than I know. And so it's very exciting to see what he's going to come up with.
Okay, I think that is it. Sorry, I actually got a new computer yesterday and didn't have everything totally set up. My my other one, the video card went. So I apologize for that. We're just trying to make sure that everybody can see the screen. Why is that not?
That's what they can see. You got it. So you need to go to the presentation software. All right, so as we're figuring out our little blippies and everything, let me tell you a little bit about me. I've been doing advertising and things since the 1990s. That sounds,
man, you're old, dude.
Really old, doesn't it? I mean, literally since the 1990s. And I've done all kinds of things. I made my first web page in 1999. So I started getting into internet marketing, and I just fell in love with videos. I love being able to present things in a way that's visual and they can hear and see things. So I love stuff like this because you get to see exactly what's on the screen, but you get to hear our voices. You get to kind of connect a little bit with the people who's out there and everything. Like I said before, Dave's the go-to guy that I go to. Any reputation question I have, he's got it covered. He's got so much more knowledge. I mean, he could probably do 25 surefire ways to protect your reputation. So I'm glad he stuck to 12.
You know, it probably all comes down to when I was in high school. I always thought I had to protect my reputation. You know, I didn't want people saying stuff bad about me because I was kind of a jerk. Oh. But hey, you know, I've grown up now since then.
That's good.
But hey, we don't want to take a lot of your time, so we're going to get right into it. I know we still got people joining us on the Hangout, but let's go ahead and just jump right in. And you obviously see the title of this, and as Lyle mentioned, there's probably more ways than 12. I just you know, said, hey, I think these are the most important ones that we need to you know, focus in on so that, you know, your gym and your business is not in jeopardy. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that, because here's the thing is that do you really know what people are saying about you online? You know, the landscape has changed, and reputation is probably your number one asset when it comes to your business, and you want to make sure you know what people are saying. And then you also want to make sure that you're proactive and you're engaging in the conversation. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's just talk a little bit what is online reputation management. Now, you're going to hear me go back and forth, and I'm going to refer to it sometime as marketing and sometime as management, because yes, you know, if you want to get something done, you want to manage it. You know, that's how you manage numbers. That's how it becomes a priority. But I also look at marketing, because marketing is also proactive in the sense that you're out there pushing your reputation, your solid business reputation online. So it's kind of it's like more of an action type. But as you can see, you know, it's the process of, you know, is using tools and systems that can influence the conversations that's taking place about your business. And if we're not going to do it right now, but I want you to think about what is being said about you online. Do you have any clue? If not, just do one thing. just go to Google and type in your business name and see what comes up. See what kind of real estate is on the page. What is out there? What is people saying? That could be the scariest thing. So don't do that right now, but when we're done with the webinar, go check that out. See what people are saying. Just go put your name in Google in the search engine and see what people are saying.
That's something important. I love that you call it reputation marketing, because management says you're waiting for something to happen so you can manage it and make it work the way you want to. Marketing says you're taking a proactive effect here. And so today on this webinar, we're going to show you some tools, and we're going to talk you through the processes of how to set this up for your business. And we're even going to have a web page at the end that we'll get to you. So stay tuned. You'll see this. Where we're going to show you specifically the tools you need to use. You can go to this page, click on it, but most of them are free. And I don't know about you, but I love getting things for free, especially for my business and stuff that'll help me in my business do things quicker, do things much more effectively. So if you want to market your business, which that's what we're all about, is marketing gyms. So if you want to market your gym better, you got to know what's out there. And we're going to help and show you all kinds of tools. So stay tuned.
So what are the stakes? And if you're not already aware of this, most everybody is online. I mean, you know, I've got my mother who's, she'll kill me for telling you this, but she's 74 years old. I mean, she's on Facebook. You know, she's out there. She's searching on Google. I think she uses Surrey a lot too. So, you know, and the other thing is everybody has something to say. They want their voice to be heard. And with it being online, it's much easier for people to feel comfortable about saying something. And we're going to talk about how they feel about saying something more often than not being negative than positive.
Because people respond when they're mad. When they're angry, they have that flash, and they're trained with social media nowadays just to spurt off whatever they want, however they want. They're not trained to think about things.
Yeah.
You know, old school, we had to think about before we said something or talk to somebody. Now they just react immediately. So they get a lot of stupid stuff out there. So you may get a review that's totally unfair about your business, and you can respond to that, but you know, you got to be careful how you do that. We'll talk about that.
So, you know, look who's talking about you. I always like to look at different industries when it comes to, you know, presenting and educating, because there's a lot we can learn outside of our own industry. But I mean, you know, fitness is definitely one that people are always talking about, and restaurants and other service type businesses, people are saying stuff. So when you think about it, Lyle just mentioned, you know, people say some stupid stuff. You get disgruntled employees, you get ex-spouses, you get ex-clients. I mean, there's just
somebody
people
having a bad day.
Yeah. You know, I had a client that had somebody, you know, they showed up. It was a 5 a.m. deal. They were upset. They came late. Man, they went right to Facebook and left a negative review. I mean, they didn't even have a chance to even talk to the person and say, hey, here's our, you know, whatever. So, you know, people are talking about you, and sometimes it might not be fair, like Lyle said, but you have to know that people are talking about you. This right here, and here's the thing, and you're probably well aware that technology is changing all the time. So, you know, I put these slides together, and then I start looking through them, and things are changing. But Zagat, if you've never heard of Zagat, it started off really big in the restaurant industry, and people would go there and leave reviews, and they would score you and stuff like that. So it obviously was very successful, and it made a big difference. So Google went out and acquired them. And so they were starting to implement it into Google, into your searches, into local search. They were putting your Zagat score. Now, I've heard that this could possibly be changing, that it's not always going to show up. And so, you know, trust me, in the years that I've been working with local search and stuff, Google keeps changing it, you know, all the time. So depending on, you know, what happens next week, you know, they might not be using the Zagat scores anymore. But, you know, it's all about local and local reviews. That's my point here with this whole slide here on the Zagat.
And there's talk, before you go ahead too far, there's talk about Google kind of aggregating all of your reviews into one kind of social score, overall social score for your business. And if they do that, they're only going to show those ones that fit that social profile that they've created for you. There's even companies now that are trying to create a single site that compiles all your social data into one site, so people can go to that one location and find out everything that everybody's ever said about you online. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. again, I said I like to talk about different industries, and I happened to be looking for a plumber a couple weeks ago and stuff like that, and I was just thinking about it, and so we look at the, it's a highly searched local term. People are always looking for them, just like people are always looking for gyms, and so you just want to see the scores, and you can see that the reviews matter and the score matters because people are looking at that. They're accustomed to it now, and the reason why is because Google's putting it out there on your Google Plus local. And if you're not familiar with that, we're going to talk a little bit more about that going forward, but they are actually putting your reviews at the center of search. That's the key here. So when somebody types in looking for a specific type of business or service, your review is front and center on that page, on that local page.
Yeah, because they're tying in your Google Plus page with your local page, which is tying in your reviews. I mean, they're trying to put them all in one location. So everything's getting to one location, but trying to be aware of it. Look at how much these people are writing. I would hate to have that much writing. I think I put 2 or 3 sentences usually. So hopefully they're getting good reviews.
Yeah,
they say 4 though, don't they?
Well, that's funny you say that because look at this. The excellent one only has a couple, sentences to it.
Exactly.
And the poor to fair, they vent.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah. And so, there's nothing you're going to be able to do about that except for take a proactive stance. And that's what we're going to talk to you a little bit more about.
So if you're trying to manage it, you'd have to look at this and try to figure out how to fix all these things. If you're reputation marketing, which Dave, I love that term. If you're reputation marketing, then you're going to get ahead of this and you're going to get longer reviews for the excellent ones because you're proactively going after and getting it. You have a system in place.
So again, what are the stakes? And you might recall hearing at one time, if you have a happy customer, they'll usually tell maybe 1 or 2 of their friends. If you have a disgruntled member or customer, they're going to tell 9 or 10. Well, here's the thing. That's changed. Now, they're not just telling 9 to 10 of their friends. They're telling thousands of people that search online for your particular product or service. So the stakes are huge, huge. And I can't stress it enough. I just run into so many people when they come to me afterwards, they're reactive about it. Oh my gosh, I got a negative review. We got to do something about it. Well, if you were proactively taking the stance that we're going to talk about, you wouldn't worry so much about a negative review. It's obviously you never want to get one, but you're going to get one at some point if you're doing business long enough.
And that's the lovely thing about the internet. Anybody can say anything they want at any time. People react to negative. Your brain is hardwired to pay attention to negative stuff because when you see or hear that negative thing, you want to make sure you have it fixed and you don't get caught up in that same thing. It's biological, really.
So just a little bit more in terms of some numbers, so some statistics, because I know some people are very number savvy and they always want to see the numbers. But there are 3 times more negative reviews. This is from TripAdvisor, and so people are willing to go out and leave that negative review without asking them to, as opposed to giving you positive feedback on the survey or something. So you just have to know that you've got to be more proactive in taking a stance on creating a positive marketing culture with your reputation. Here's some more statistics to back up what we're talking about. I mean, so from this Society for Communications research, 74% of U.S. consumers choose to do business based on online feedback. All right.
My wife and I both of us joined a gym. We joined 2 separate gyms because of she's doing one closer to her work and I'm doing one closer to where we live. And that's what we did. We put in their gym and reviews because we wanted to see what people said about them. Because it helped a lot. She got one that kind of fit what she wanted, and I got one that kind of fit what I wanted based on people's reviews. Yeah, and just to kind of give you a little background into kind of how I got started into the whole reputation thing was when initially I started out in the digital marketing agency for local businesses. I was doing SEO and search and stuff like that, local search, but I actually was looking for a carpet cleaner.
and I just typed in carpet cleaner and I typed in my city name, and bam, up came a bunch of local carpet cleaning companies. One had 32 positive reviews, one had 2, and another I think had 3 or 4. The one with 32 positive reviews, I think they might have like a couple negative reviews, and the negative reviews were essentially they were a little bit more pricier. So I already knew going in that they were a little bit more expensive than the other ones. But then when I read all the positive ones, it talked about the same thing. Yeah, they're a little bit more expensive, but they did higher quality work. Those positive reviews led me to call them up. I actually went with the higher because it was great feedback. It was great feedback.
That's a great point. You can offset your USP based on your reputation if you channel it correctly.
Yep. And so then, 59% of consumers are using social sites to vend. And
it's probably larger now.
I was going to say, here's the thing, like even with Facebook, they haven't even touched their reviews in terms of them really putting that front and center. They've changed it up a little bit to where when you go to a business page, you see the reviews, but they haven't even touched it yet. So I would imagine that this is going to grow because, everybody, all these different industries are coming up too with social sites about, kind of going off the Angie's List type deal. And then we go back to the whole research thing. I mean, if you're still advertising in the phone book, I'm just going to tell you, you need to rethink your marketing. This has changed the game in terms of social and search. People go on Facebook and search. People go to Google, Yahoo, Bing, all those to search for different products and services. And so if you're not being seen in those channels, that's also something. If you have nothing showing up, that's another signal that you need to start being more proactive there.
And the key is the more things you have out there, the more is going to show up on a search. It's funny because we talked about going in there and Googling your name. Again, don't do that till after the seminar because you're going to learn a lot more that may help you anyway. But when you do that, you may find that some of your competitors have actually bought advertisement with your name on it so that they can catch those people.
Yeah, they're doing. Yeah, absolutely. They're using pay-per-click or something like that to go for search terms that are being highly searched. So I guess if we can get into that, that's another webinar hangout for you guys. Okay, so let's get into the 12 surefire ways you can protect your reputation while promoting your gym.
Now, you can take notes if you want to, if you're a note-taker type person, but if you go to our webpage, again, we'll put it at the end there, tell you exactly where to go. We're going to give you a list of these 12 things as well as all the tools that we are suggesting to do these things. And like I said, most of these are free, but it's a way for you to catch hold of your reputation right now, starting this week, so that you don't lose those valuable clients that are just right around you, right close to you.
Okay, so effective online reputation marketing or management should be proactive and reactive. Okay, so I know before I said, hey, you shouldn't be reactive, but I'm going to tell you where you need to be reactive as we move forward. But 90% of it is proactive. Okay, so you're going to combine marketing, SEO, pay-per-click, public relations, sales, customer service. You want to go across all those business functions when it comes to online reputation. Okay.
Well, your reputation is your brand, and your brand is your marketing. And your marketing is everything you do. So you got to kind of think about those as a package, not as an individual piece. I love that idea.
So there's 5 core principles, all right? And they start off by listening. I think you've probably heard this before, is you need to know what people are saying about you, especially your members, okay? If you have a kind of a, but a deaf ear to things that are happening and not hearing what's going on, you just kind of sweep it under the rug, that's a red flag right there. The other thing is you want to contribute, okay? It's not a one-way thing anymore. You have to contribute to the conversation. And then, when you delight customers and exceed expectations, that right there is, probably the gold lining, because when you have happy members, they will be raving fans. Who wrote that book? Is it How to Create Raving Fans? I forgot. Anyway, The other thing is that you need to collect these feedback and referrals and testimonials. Okay, you need to create the culture that does that. And then the last thing is that if you don't plan, in advance, you're just going to fall flat. And you should know this, because when you're in this, we talk about always creating plans for people to, succeed in their journey to lose weight or whatever. Same thing here. You've got to plan how you're going to respond before you need to. You got to anticipate.
Now, let me give you a good example of this. I went the other day to get my oil change, and I'd put a review on for this company, and I came up there. He's like, "Good news for you." I'm like, "What's that?" He's like, "You have a free oil change today." I'm like, "How did that happen?" And apparently they were watching their reviews online. They saw that my review came up based on my car tag. I guess I don't know how they tied it in, but I was impressed that they recognized my car and my name enough. So that number 3, delighting your customers' expectation. These guys will have me and my wife as customers probably for life.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and rewarding for it is another thing, kind of a strategy you can do. And we'll talk about that in one of the ways as we move forward. But that's great. So listen to what your members are saying. Again, you've got to have that ear open. You've got to hear what people are saying about your gym and your business. So the first step is we want to set up what we call Google Alerts, okay? And if you've never heard of Google Alerts before, it's in one of their suite packages, and it's free. It's one of those tools that we were talking about. And you can get updates on what people are saying, about your business. So you just type in there, your business name or whatever, and there's different options there in terms of what kind of results you want, how often you want them sent, stuff like that. But if something is said that involves the keyword term with your business name in it, bam, you're going to get an alert sent to your email. And that's the first step is that you're monitoring what's being said through online search.
And this is free and easy to do. I mean, you can go online and see all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, we'll put a little primer on our webpage to tell you exactly how to do this step by step. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be techie to do these things. It's really, really simple. You just got to do it.
If I can do it.
You do it one time, and it happens the rest of your life. I mean, you never have to do it again. It's simple.
Yeah. Yep. Again, so another one is to monitor social media sites, blogs, and forums. So you've got different things. And again, some of the stuff is changing. So like Google Reader, it might be not something that you want to pursue, because I think they're talking about getting rid of it. I can't remember if I'm correct on that or not. But it's one aspect. TweetDeck, if you're on Twitter, TweetDeck is a really good tool to monitor Twitter conversations. You've got Hootsuite and you've got Social Mention. So there's a couple different forums and platforms for social media that you can go into and plug in key search terms, your business name, all that stuff. And if somebody's making a conversation or something talking about you on those, it's going to come up.
And there are hundreds of these kind of things online to help monitor your site. Hootsuite's something I use. It's a free resource. You can get the pro version, but they'll tell you exactly which social media is talking about you and what they're saying about you, so you can respond there directly. That's something I've used because it handles multiple ones. TweetDeck's only going to do tweet, only Twitter. But Hootsuite or something like that'll get all of them together. It's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah,
just log in as one location. I love that idea.
Hootsuite is probably the gold standard there, I would say. So the next one that we mentioned was contribute. So as I said before, it's not a one-way conversation. And if it is, then that's not going to help your reputation online, because you want to engage in that. Even with positive reviews, I would still respond. I would say, obviously show your gratitude and appreciation. But, do it in a meaningful way. So there's things that you can do to contribute. And the reason is you can't control what people are going to say about you, okay? But you can control what you want people to see about you. Does that make sense? Did I make sense there?
That makes sense.
Yeah. You're taking that proactive approach of saying, hey, I want to be looked at in a positive way, and here's how we do it. So we are contributing out content. We are contributing out videos, all sorts of different stuff Facebook posts, everything that you can think of in terms of online social sites to make what you want people to think about you.
Well, it's the old standard, what gets rewarded gets repeated. If somebody's posting positive things up there, you contribute towards that positive. You make them feel good. And if you said something really special, let's say you recognize that person from online and somebody made a comment about the nice dress they were wearing or whatever that is. If you took that special effort to contribute to that person, they're going to be telling their friends about that.
Yep.
When you do something above and beyond, that's when people start talking about social media. That's when the positive social media side comes out. So the more you contribute towards the positivity, the less the negativity comes out.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I mentioned, if you're in business long enough, you're going to have negative reviews. All right. And kind of the strange thing, and I don't know, maybe you guys are like this too, but I actually look for a few negative reviews, because at least I do this with Amazon when I'm buying a book.
Yep.
I want to kind of find out, okay, who was unhappy about it? But again, the ratio should be more positive than negative. So if it's 1-to-1, that's not good. But if it's 10 positive to 1 negative, people are going to overlook that. So you want that, and you can contribute to that. Okay, so the other part of this is that there are so many social sites and directories that people can leave reviews. All right. Obviously, every business or industry is different, but the one that is probably most prevalent and important, I would say, is Google plus local. Now, they might have you might have heard that they changed it to Google My Business, I think, but I always refer to it as Google Plus or Google Local, because it's those teardrops that show up after the organic searches are done. Then the local business listings are in there, and that's where the reviews are there. And although I don't know if Google's come out and said this, but reviews do matter in terms of the local search. I'll just tell you that from my experience, the companies that I work with that get more positive reviews have a better chance of showing up in those top listing spots. But there's Yelp. I mean, I know Yelp is a huge online review site. I don't actually have it on there, but Foursquare has reinvented themselves, and they're trying to focus in on reviews and matching customers with different likes and interests. Again, Facebook client I have, they've been converting people from Facebook left and right, and the reviews that they're getting on there are just one aspect to it. Twitter, and then you've got LinkedIn. So every business is different, but still being listed in all those and monitoring and managing those is really important, because you don't know where the reviews are going to come from if you're not monitoring them.
And that's where that Google alert comes into play, because every time somebody's mentioned you, no matter what site they're on, it's going to alert you and tell you that people are talking about you. So you don't have to think, I've got to do all this stuff. You get it set up, you set it and forget it. You just set it up, make sure it's set up correctly, make sure you optimize it, and then let it do what it's supposed to do.
Okay, so start blogging. I know I get this all the time. What am I going to blog about? I don't have anything to blog about. But you do have stuff to blog about. In our industry, there's more stuff to talk about than you can imagine. And people want to see that, okay? And then they want to share it. People do like to share content, and they want to share it with their friends. So, you need to start a whole content marketing plan for your business, because if you get great content, people are going to share that, and that's going to continue to build your reputation. Like, you're the expert, you're the authority. It's going to just help convert people. And
blogging also shows, like you said, shows that you're authority, but it also tells Google that something's happening on your webpage. It tells Google that you're actively doing things on your webpage, so it bumps you up in rankings. And content marketing is what we're talking about here. It just basically means you're putting stuff on there that's valuable, that's entertaining. I mean, think about it. Is it something you would share? Put a fun video every once in a while. If somebody does a funky dance in one of their routines when they're teaching a class or something, record that, stick it up there, or talk about that culture that's happening in your gym. If somebody does something really neat, promote a person. If somebody's getting really good results, promote that person. You're getting ahead of the reviews by doing that. So you can just do this once a week, once a month. I mean, a single blog a month, that's only 12 for an entire year, will get you so much more than all the people who are not doing it. Because think of all the gyms that are not doing that.
Yeah.
You're going to all of a sudden set yourself up above everyone else.
And the other thing we didn't really mention was in terms of traffic and leads. You know, this is a great way to focus in on prospects and getting people to your business and to your site. Because if you do get indexed in the search engines on this content, when somebody goes ahead and searches for it, they come up and see your content. Bam, you have now somebody who's got interested eyeballs looking for you. So keep that in mind too, from a lead perspective. Again, with content, educational videos, you want to post them to YouTube. And Lyle, you're the expert on the video stuff. So
videos are so easy nowadays with all of your cell phones. If you've got a cell phone the last 2 years, you can create well done videos. Make sure your lighting looks good, which if you're in a gym, you hopefully have good lighting anyway, and you create a video. And that can be part of your blogging. You can do a video, and that's your content for your blog. You post that video on there and put a couple of paragraphs beneath it that talks about it. You can talk about trends in fitness. You can talk about health when it comes to eating. You can talk about things going on in your gym. There's all kinds of things you can do. We'll tell you a little more about that later, but post something up there. And YouTube, you get double the effort because your video can rank and your blog can rank. And have you ever done a search and the video pops up? You'll see the video is colored and it's got a little thumbnail on it so you can see it. It's going to stand out above all the others. So if you can get a good video and get it ranking, it's going to pop up there and catch people's attention. You can get a lot more response.
All right, so let's move on to delight. And, you know, your members, you need to be easy to work with, okay? If you make things tough for them, you know, that's going to set them off. So you need to be easy. And you look at what Amazon, you know, how they've created their whole, you know, well, first of all, their whole business originally started kind of through affiliate marketing. But also I would almost say that they're kind of the forefront in the review section, because they use those reviews and those positive experiences to get that word of mouth to other people to come to Amazon to buy stuff. So, you know, that's a great example to look at and model after if you want to see what the power of word of mouth is. All right, so number 6, we're going to go with promote remarkable customer service. I think most of you guys probably have this as a core value in your business, but you need to make sure that you're creating a service culture. The more that you can focus in on, like I said, delighting those members and making them feel like they got this wow factor, you know, and that's why we also say you need to train and educate your staff for the wow factor, because that's going to lead to that positive reaction, which eventually will lead to positive testimonials that you are hopefully encouraging all your employees to collect and to, you know, ask for. That's that marketing side of this, what I talk about, being proactive. You've got to create this culture where you're now not only just sitting back and hoping, but you're actually sitting out and doing. And you want to share that praise with your team, you know. Let them know that, hey, you know what, did you know that you had a 5-star review that came online that said, you know, your class was amazing? You know, let them know that stuff.
And when you're talking about customer service, I mean, marketing, we're talking about you being marketing, but your customer service is part of your marketing. When somebody comes into your gym, the way it's decorated, the cleanliness factor, the way they're greeted at the service desk, the way they check in, the way they're greeted when they leave. Do you say anything when they leave? Do you just let them leave? What if you see somebody hot and sweaty over there and they're really just wore out? Do you address that person? Or do you just let them sit off to the side? You know, how you do those things is a big difference. And people talk about businesses that go above and beyond to help people out. If you see somebody doing something extraordinary, you're more likely to tell other people. So if you can create that inside your business, people are going to talk about it. You give them something positive to talk about so they don't talk about something negative.
Okay, and due to time, I know we said we wanted to try to get this thing going faster. I'm going to kind of skip over this, but you can go ahead and just kind of research and Google Net Promoter Score. It's an interesting way to look at what your online review score is. But number 7 is to start using the Net Promoter Score. And like I said, due to time, we're going to kind of move on. And this is 7A, which I did not write that. Sorry, but say thank you. You know, it's amazing what a card or just a written hand note can say and do for your business. You know, it'll go a long way, trust me. And it's so much easier than ever now. I mean, they've got stuff where, you know, you can automate it. You know, you obviously you want to be somewhat, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You want to be authentic, but you can automate this stuff. So it's really, really simple. And I'm telling you, a simple thank you note will go a long way.
And you can do it online on social media. Imagine posting a big, you know, let's say somebody spills something or somebody falls down and another one of your members goes and helps that person. And you post a big thank you on your social media to that person's webpage from your company. And imagine how many people are going to talk about that. Oh, look what you did. People caught you doing something good. All of a sudden, you've just expanded your reach.
All right, so we're going to move on to collect. And this is kind of the proactive side of it. You want to collect member feedback, referrals, and testimonials, all right? And there's free or paid survey tools to do that, okay? Here's just a couple of them. Survey Gizmo, Survey Monkey. Now, I put feedback form, and that's something that we do. We help create feedback forms for our clients so that they can actually get them, come to their website, and create what they want to be asked and to be said. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get the feedback. There's paid and there's free stuff. So here's just a few, you know, if you've never heard of them before, go check them out. They're good tools to use for sure. Number 9 is set up channels for receiving voluntary feedback. All right. You want to use these places to collect unsolicited feedback. So you got, you know, web forums, invoices, newsletters. There's lots of different ways that you can use these different channels to get this feedback, and you know, people can feel free and not pressured into doing it. You know, so those are really good ways of doing it. Now we're going to move on to plan, and I want you to think about this because there's a process or you can improvise. Okay. When you set up a plan, you're actually anticipating and doing. When you improvise, it's just like that. It's like you're just saying, hey, I want to do something because I got this negative review.
Yeah, well, how many people go to gym and just decide any, meeny, miny, mo, they're going to do something? Oh, did we lose number 10? We did.
We're having some planning issues here. I don't know. You know, hey,
We'll
regardless,
if we find it.
the slide might have been switched, but we want to develop a process for responding to the negative buzz, okay? So before you need to do it, you want to make, that's what I was talking about, the anticipation, okay? So here are some ways that you can do this, responding. You know, the worst thing you can do is just let it sit out there. You have to engage it and apologize.
The worst thing you can do is attack it.
Oh, well, yeah, no, don't, do not attack.
Be intelligent.
Yeah.
And make sure your staff knows not to respond quickly to these things. Make sure you have a policy in place. You have written out policy on how to respond to these things, because you can find the worst thing you do is respond negatively, and then you start a chain reaction, and who knows where it ends up after that.
Yeah. I know you want to empower your staff at times, but when it comes to the negative feedback and negative reviews, you should have something in place that says, hey, here's how I want you to respond. You know, don't obviously attack them. Don't call them out, but just say, hey, you know, obviously apologize. You know, we'd love to make it up to you. Give them an opportunity to have that chance. And then, you know, if they do, great. If they don't, you know, unfortunately, but you still took that positive step to respond to it. There's number 10. We had a feeling that we had sorry about that. We made some last minute changes before the webinar, and obviously when I didn't put it in the right place. Create a place for them to vent. So instead of them going to the review sites, you can actually create a place that they use social media to create virtually a help desk, so that, you know, if they have questions and stuff, or if they have somewhere they can just, you know, say, hey, this is what's going on, and instead of them going directly to the review site. So there's some really cool stuff out there.
Yeah, because if somebody wants to vent and they're like, something's frustrating them, they don't feel comfortable calling you, but if you've got some place for them to go, they're not as likely to go to those review sites. You have to have that place for them to release that anger, you know?
All right, and so the last one, number 12, is build a referral system. Okay, I've always presented that there's 4 ways to grow your business, and one of them is through referrals, and I'm sure that you probably would agree that that is a great way of growing it. And it needs to be something that you do that's active and methodical. Okay, there's a process behind it. So I think you had said something about the whole they gave you the free oil change with your review. That is just kind of the process that they have in place. So somebody said something positive about their business. So how do they continue to enlighten and wow them? They gave them a free oil change. There's lots of things you can do in your business that when, you know, you get a referral or you get a positive review, you can do things for those members. And
you have to be careful. You can't buy, quote unquote,
no, you can't
reviews, because if you buy reviews, people are going to see that. So you have to be very careful how you do this. Make sure your referral system rewards them with something internally, but you're not trading off those things.
Yeah, I think there's against some of those like Yelp and all them. They're the service. You can't say, hey, I'll pay you $10 for a positive review. But, you know, you can say, hey, we would love to get your feedback, and, you know, upon receiving, you know, feedback from you, and, you know, we're willing to do this or that, you know. So there's ways to do it.
Well, this oil change place didn't even tell me they were doing that.
Yeah,
so that's what makes it above and beyond, because you're not expecting it, and then you get something out of it.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Okay, so listen, I think we went a little bit more than 30 minutes, and you know, hey, we've just got a lot to talk about. So we tried to make it fast, and I apologize if you felt like we rushed it towards the end. You know, again, we're trying to just get down our presentations so that these are quick, so that you're not spending a lot of time, because there's a lot of stuff out there. We just want good, solid information.
And these are designed to go for an hour, but we're trying to get them into 30 minutes. So if you've got more things to do, you can watch that first part. But we want to handle the questions that people come to as well. But before you get off, we want to make sure you know about this webpage. You go to gymmarketingexpert.com, reputation, and we're going to have a list of these 12 things, as well as all the resources. We're going to give you direct links to all these resources and little tips and tricks along the way to help you out. Plus, you can get a free reputation report with a single little information. It'll pull everything you need to find out about your business online. It's totally free. I mean, why not do it?
Yeah, no, I mean, find out what people are saying. Yeah, other than, you know, I said to Google your business name. Sure, there'll be stuff that'll come up on there, but with this report, it goes through all the directories and looks and sees where people are saying stuff. It also gives you a score in terms of, you know, how well your listing is if you're not enlisted in those directories from a local search. So really cool report, and obviously it's free, you know, for you guys. So definitely go ahead and check that out. And for those of you that can stay on the webinar, we're going to go ahead and take some questions. And let's see here. Sorry. I think we've got, let's just looking through them. Let's see here.
Now, if you're in the chat with us, if you're on our live, go ahead and pop in your questions. It takes us a few minutes to come into us, so we're having to go through these and look for them. But a lot of people.
Okay, here we go. Sorry, I wanted to go through some of these and really find one that I thought that was. So we've got a question comes from John. He says that we have seen negative things being said about us online. Is it a good idea to have our employees go in and leave positive comments on those sites to try and bury those negative reviews? So
no,
yeah,
simple answer, no.
No, John, that's
your
not a good idea.
Employees cannot do that. They're a registered. It's kind of like, you know, you see those game shows that say you can win on this game show as long as you're not associated with this game show. That's kind of what you got to be careful about. If they find out it's an employee, you can be slapped, and their negative review will be even worse. because Yelp will yank all those reviews. There's one person I saw recently. I think she ran dog kennels or something, and people posted reviews from her location, but they used her Wi-Fi access, so everybody posted from that one location, and Yelp pulled every one of her reviews, good and bad.
Yeah. So, and it's, as you say, Yelp and super pages and all this, they've got ways of detecting it. So, unethically manipulating the ratings is not something to do. So that's a no-no. Let's see here. Oh, there's never seen nothing else. Something you get in trouble with this. Okay, here's another one. There's retail types of business. I think that there are a number of different things that you can do. Some of them, no, I'm sorry, that's not that's what's he saying there. No. There's just a lot of comments being said here, so I'm trying to get through some really good questions. Oh, wait, let's see here. It says Adam. Again, I'm getting a lot of comments, which is great. I mean, you guys are all talking about reviews and how that.
We're kind of running on the 45-minute mark. Let's go ahead and cut off these questions. If you have questions, go ahead and send them to us. Dave, what email should they send it to?
They can just send it to info@gymmarketingexpert.com.
Okay, so if you have questions about reputation marketing or anything, go ahead and send us those questions directly. Looks like our feed's not working quite the way we hoped it would. That's okay, it happens sometimes. That's part of the lovely things of technology. If you're watching this webinar after it's been recorded and everything, and you have those questions, send them to us at info@gymmarketingexpert.com, and we'll address those directly to you. And maybe if it's helpful for someone else, we'll put them on our webinar page to let other people know about it. So I'll remind you about that page. It's gymmarketingexpert.com. That's no S, gymmarketingexpert.com. And then you're a slash and put reputation. If you type that into a search bar, we're going to have all kinds of resources listed out for you, as well as answering a couple questions as they come in, if we find some questions we think will work for most people.
All right, so just to wrap it up, the big takeaway is, you can't control what people are going to say about your business and your company, okay? But you can exercise some of that control over the larger conversational context that they say it in, okay? You can have a say in this. And proactive online reputation marketing or management is all about making sure you're adding enough to the conversation so that ratio is higher with the positive side than a negative in your favor. So, again, it's proactive. It's not being reactive. Sometimes you do have to be reactive, but if you're hoping that's not a strategy that people will, what people are going to say about you. You need to be proactive and you need to market that reputation. Well, do you want to add anything?
No, I was going to say, let's kind of recap the things we've talked about. I know we've talked about a lot of things. I love that this says reputation takes years to build, but they can be damaged in minutes. I mean, think about it. One really bad reputation comment, and you're out of the park. So here's the 12 things. Let's run through them real quickly. You set up Google Alerts. You're going to monitor your social media. You're going to set up profiles in key directories. You're going to start blogging. Maybe create a video on YouTube. You're going to promote remarkable customer experience. Make sure to say thank you. Survey your customers. Set up voluntary feedback sites. Create a place for them to vent. Develop a process to respond to negativity. And then build a referral system.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and seriously, if you need some help in assisting you with
Dave
this,
is the guy to go to.
I'd love to talk to you. Reach out to me, and definitely because I really believe that a business's number one asset is their reputation, and because the internet has changed the way the game is played, I want to be able to assist and help people. That's really kind of my mission. I know that you've worked hard to build your company, your business, and your gym. So don't let one bad review or a couple bad reviews ruin it. So, I'd love to help. And like I said, if you want, go check out, see what people are saying, and then we can talk from there. Hope you really appreciate it. If you have anything, positive to say, go ahead and leave it somewhere out there for us. If you have something negative, contact me directly.
Yes, that's our whole reputation thing. Yeah, go ahead and go to this page, gymmarketingexpert.com, reputation. You'll see it on your screen. If you're on live, we'll try to share that in the chat box, wherever that went. Things disappear on us on this end for some reason. That's okay.
Well, that's technology with the Google Plus Hangout stuff. So
yeah, but go over there and we'll have those 12 steps listed out, as well as the tools that you need. And you get this free report. You just click on it. It's simple. It doesn't cost anything. You get it right there on your web page. Matter of fact, isn't it immediate? Like takes
you'll get your
2 to 5 minutes to process.
Plug in your phone number, your business phone number, and it could take up to 3 minutes, but usually doesn't take that long. And you can get a report. So
that 3 minutes is worth your time. Trust me.
Yep. Well, again, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Dave McGarry, your gym marketing expert.
And I'm Lyle.
All right. See you then.